In this tutorial, you're going to learn how to set up and use MIDI controller lanes. These will allow you to shape and control velocity, volume, pan, and other continuous controller data. Let's start by selecting the lead track and opening the MIDI data in the key editor. We can now hide the transport bar and resize the screen and allow us to see a range of velocity data in a MIDI controller lane at the bottom of the screen. If we now select the pencil tool, we can start to shape the velocity data of MIDI notes by simply drawing in the controller lane. If I want to use the line tool to draw straight lines and ramps within the velocity data, I can simply select a start and end point and Cubase will create a line. Let's now have a listen. Simple as that. If we want to add a second MIDI controller lane, simply click on the plus sign and choose from the drop-down list from the available other MIDI controllers. In this case, we'll choose pan. Let's resize the screen, and we can now use the line tool to draw in continually changing pan data. Let's start at the bottom and draw upwards, creating a change from left to right. This will create the effect of the sound moving from the left-hand speaker to the right-hand speaker. Let's now have a listen. So you can hear the signal being controlled by the MIDI controller data to pan it from one side of the stereo field to the other. We now return to the project window and we can see how the pan data is displayed as an overlay on the project window MIDI note data. Let's now choose the ride and hi-hat drum track and we'll open that in the drum editor. We can now see at the bottom of the screen there, if we select one particular note, for example the ride cymbal, we can see velocities of each ride cymbal hit in the bottom of the screen. Expand the view again, and now using the drumstick tool, you can start to shape the velocity of each ride cymbal hit. Once you've done that, let's play it back and have a listen to see what it sounds like. So we've now shaped the velocity of each ride cymbal hit. We could do the same for the pedal hi-hat by clicking it in the drum editor. Now we can see the velocities for the pedal hi-hat, and we can do the same. Let's listen back again, and we'll hear both the hi-hat and the ride with their new velocity shapings. All of a sudden, we're starting to create a more interesting and more musical approach to the drum kit. Once we've done, we'll close the window. Let's now return to the lead part, and let's just actually view it in the list editor. Here we can see that in addition to a lot of note data, we have many entries for controller data. For example, at bar 4 beat 1, we can see a controller 10 pan data with a data 2 set to 0. If we look further down the list, we can see the data 2 numbers getting gradually higher. Whilst it's possible to make changes to one or two lines of controller data in this editor, it would be unwise to try and create large amounts of continuous controller data within the list editor, as this would take a very long time. Cubase provides you with a range of MIDI editing facilities, which allow you to shape and manipulate MIDI data. Careful shaping of MIDI controller data will create effective sequence musical performances.